everyone, Jessie from the Scrappy Sisters. So this is my final layout using the Everyday Musings collection from Pink Fresh Studios, and I'm pretty much right at the end of this collection. So this is kind of my use it up layout. So those bits of paper is all that I've got left, and I'm going to do a little bit of a tearing technique here, and I was just looking for the piece that I liked the best. My little boy is wearing a navy dressing gown in this layout, so I thought going with sort of that bluey kind of colour was the way to go, and colour matching wise, that navy with the green spots is probably a better colour, but I just loved this paper so much that I chose to use this one instead. Which is kind of what we do, isn't it? Sometimes we colour match and sometimes we just go with what makes us happy inside. And this paper made me happy. So I just tore diagonally, as you could see, along that line, pretty much starting where the last little chunk had been cut out, just to give me a bit of a basic idea of where to tear from, and just it was a fairly nice straight diagonal, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to stick that, as you can see, just there. And there's very little of this layout that I actually edit out. I nearly leave the entire process in for you because it was a really quick and easy idea, really, once I kind of got it going. So I'm just distressing up the edges a bit there, just using my fingers because they're already torn. Obviously it is already distressed, but I just wanted that texture there, so just sort of rolling it a little bit with my fingers just to have it sort of fluff up a little bit. Now there will be someone that mentions or asks or comments or what have you about doing this kind of dimension and then putting it in a page protector. I find with my layouts, they do keep a lot of their dimension. Yes, they will definitely get squashed, but because you stand your albums upright, the pages kind of fan a little bit, like they're not completely compacted. If I laid them down and stacked them on top of each other, then it would definitely squash. But because I pretty much put my albums away, I put my layouts away straight away and then put my albums back standing up in there. I've got a Calyx bookshelf. Mine tend to keep a fair bit of their dimensions, so this kind of rolled up thing is not too bad. It works pretty well. So you could sort of see the idea I was going for before, where I pulled out all the labels and I started feeding those underneath the torn section. I will continue doing that. I'm just having a play with the last few ephemera pieces to see which of those I'm going to add to this look as well. And just sort of laying it all out there as I go along. As I said before, this is sort of my use it up layout, so I pretty much want to put, without being silly and like putting everything on, I want to put as much on as I can. I'm all for using my stash at the moment, my stuff at the moment, and yeah, I just want to see how much I can get in here. I do Project Life, and I do hand journal, so hand write my journaling, so I actually could have used a lot of those labels in my Project Life, but I just decided I'd stick them in this layout instead because I saw someone else share a similar idea recently and I liked it, so I was going to give it a turn too. So this is my March Kitaholics kit, so the bits and bobs I'm playing with now over on my right, and the round flowers and that light blue tag that I stuck under One of a Kind, they are part of the exclusive cut apart sheet that comes with that. So yeah, just as I said, just having a bit of a play. Anything that I can't fit will go onto my Project Life, and I can tell you now, because I've finished my Project Life, because this layout has finished and I am now doing the voice over a couple of days after finishing everything. I literally have 2 bits of paper left, and that's it. I've got that pink stripe and that blue and green dots, and that's it, and I'm done. Everything else gets used. All the ephemera gets used. The rest of the paper gets used. I pretty much killed this one, which is pretty cool. So I've basically decided that, yep, that's what I want to do, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to back my photos. Oh, I'm picking alphas. I really liked these blue ones, and I thought the blue sparkle went really well with some colour in the pattern paper, but it doesn't have enough vowels for the word I want to create. That green was too matchy, so I'm still digging, and I will pop back in about 20 seconds. Not even that long. Gosh, 20 seconds is a long time. The black is cool, but I think it didn't have the alphas I needed as well. Alphas. I know we all say this. Why can they not put extra of your letter E? So a brand new pack, plain gold, that will definitely have what I need. So I'm going to jump back now and have my title already stuck on, looking fabulous. Just because that was a quick and easy title. You didn't need to sit and watch me do that. And now I'm just using my craft glue, and I'm going to glue all these labels on and stick them in underneath that torn section. Now I must have stuck that torn section down off camera. I just used double-sided tape to stick that down, so there is only a certain amount of space that I can put the labels in and under. So in some of them I end up cutting them in half, which is totally fine, but it just means I end up with 2 bits that I can use and sort of spread the love a little bit further. I really liked that Bright Happy Days, so I wanted to make sure I got that on somewhere because I just thought it was cute. A cute saying and cute writing. I end up going a little bit text crazy on this layout, but let's be honest, the layout is all a bit crazy with everything. It's labels crazy, it's text crazy, it's a use it up layout. That's what it's all about. Putting all the bits and bobs that I can. Like, I didn't put random stuff that didn't fit, like the bike. It doesn't just get put on just because. I like to have a little bit of cohesiveness, but basically, if I liked it and thought it looked cute, I put it on. Easy. So, just gluing these straight down. I'm loving that I found this glue. I was very much, as you'll know if you've watched my previous videos, I was very much addicted to my double-sided tape, and it actually really slowed my process down because I don't have an ATG or any other type of tape runner. And I'm also a little bit stingy with my tape because tape is expensive. And so I used to spend a lot of time cutting my tape down and getting it to fit the pieces better. But I'm all for glue. It's nice and secure, it's quick and easy, it doesn't take that long to dry. You still got a little bit of wriggle room if you need to. And yeah, it just makes the whole scrapbooking process a lot easier for me. So I'm very happy to have found this thinner nozzle on this glue, because I think that's the key as well. You need to have a thin nozzle. So I still want to get one of those fine line tip glue dispensers, and I will get one, but this thin nozzle on this one is not too bad, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to jump ahead now, I believe, having a look at this. I'm going to jump ahead now, and this whole label strip will all be stuck down. I know I said I didn't really edit much out, and I didn't really, but I thought that was a little bit repetitive and you didn't need to watch that whole process. So I have backed my photos with just one piece of scrap paper, and I wanted to use, this is the off part of the torn bit. So the other side of that tear is the same matching, and I just really love the light blue. I'm having a play with that green to see if that bright color green will look nice going in and under, but I actually think the pink is a better fit than that bright green. That green doesn't really tie in with the other colours that I've used in this layout, but the pink does. So I'm just going to put little splashes of pink behind the photos as well. And then I'm going to stick them all down onto that torn blue because it's cute. And I want to. Giving the photos a bit of a base to sit on, mirroring the tear, just, tying it all together. Pretty much, I love all these layers behind the photos, but I'm pretty much using all the bits and pieces of scrap that I can find now, just to, as I said, to use it up. This is my use it up layout. And usually I don't show the backing of the photos, but I thought I'd leave this one on because it's not just a straight, one full square, rectangle, the next full rectangle, the next full rectangle. It's not a clean backing, if that makes sense. It's sort of a bit of a bitzer where you can just sort of have little L's of colour showing out behind the photo, putting them on various corners of the photo, various amounts sticking out. You might have, a really big pink piece and then a really tiny of the green piece. Just a nice way to sort of match those colours in that you're seeing in the rest of the layout, and make it look like it's not so random to have so many colours because it's all sort of tied together. So I end up deciding that the torn piece of paper was a little bit wide. I wanted it a little bit more snug around the photo, so I'm going to overlap them. And that also was a twofold as well because it ends up hiding the seam where the two bits of paper are joined. Sorry, it's quite late here. It ends up hiding the seam where the two bits of paper are joined, and I like that as well because it means it gives the illusion that it's just one original sheet of paper, which I quite like. So I'm going to do it like that, hide that join down underneath the photo, and you don't even know that they don't actually match up. So I'm just straightening off the edge so that it's perfectly straight, and then cut off that little extra bit that's hanging out from behind the corner. And then once I put the photos on, I did play with the idea that maybe I want to turn it over and have the same, but no, that I thought that looked too matchy. So I am going to stick with my original idea of having the blue. So I'm going to stick this straight down onto the page, just working out the best spot for where. Don't want it too low down, but also don't want it too high up. So it's got to be perfect. Yeah, about there will be fine. Pop that down. And then the photos themselves, I'm going to stick up on some foam. So just backing those up with foam. Got to be careful where you put your foam when you're overlapping your photos, just to make sure you don't end up having to move your foam because that corner is going to be underneath the photo. I do that all the time. Best of intentions, and then I still mess it up. Also thinking about which photo I want on top and which photo I want underneath. Usually I'd like to have the people. So in this photo, Jack is looking off the page, and so usually I'd like to have all of the action, like Jack looking at all of the action. So I would have actually preferred to have Jack facing the other way, but I don't agonize too much about that. This is just the way that it sort of ran better for me. I really wanted to use that paper, and for the bigger part of that paper to be at the top, it needed to be on the left because of the chunk I had already cut out of it. And I just, I don't let that kind of stuff hold me up too much, especially on a layout like this. This is just kind of my throw it all together quick layout. This is my don't think too hard about it layout. This is one of the only layouts ever that I haven't actually sent to Katie to say, help, how can I fix this? What should I change? Because I just didn't let this one, sometimes you have to give yourself permission. You might not be like this might just be me scrapbooking, but you have to give yourself permission to not make every single layout 100% perfect. Sometimes the ones that you don't make perfect are the ones you love the most. Other times, like this one, I just really like this one. I didn't stress about it. It was a joyful experience to make this layout. So then therefore, it is already one of the best layouts in my book, because isn't that why we scrapbook in the first place? You don't want to agonize over it. I was just having this conversation the other day about forcing the scrapbooking, and it becomes a challenge and it's so hard, then you're not doing it right. Not that you're not doing it right, but as in, that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be relaxing. This is supposed to be the way that you get your stresses out, kind of thing. So yeah, but I don't know, maybe you don't agree with me. Let me know. This is what I think. So as you can see, I'm tidying up. I'm pretty much finished. I've got my gold Hardy Shine here. Gonna splish splosh that on, and then I will pull up the layout and give you a close-up so you can see it a little bit better. But really simple, really fun, really good way to use up some of those labels and some of the bits and bobs that you might get in ephemera pack that's a little bit tricky to use maybe. I'm just really happy with how this one turned out. On a side note, I'm doing this voiceover. My little man found my makeup again. Clearly I haven't put it away in a very good spot. And he went to town. Oh my goodness. He told me he was painting his face. Well, it certainly looked like it. On this particular day, he barely put anything on his face. You could barely even tell. But today, he looked like a Oompa Loompa. It was very cute. Needless to say, I took photos of that, of course. So here are the close-ups. I hope you liked my layout. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell button so you can find out when our next videos are coming up, 2 a week. So, keep you busy. And yeah, let me know how you're going. What's happening in your life? Love to hear from you. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.